Welcome back to Mcoc AlBundyRules. So this is going to be volume 2 of my Unpopular Opinion new series. To use suicides or not, if you're unaware what they are, I'm going to give a very brief explanation. A more thorough explanation including unit cost, everything you need to know is available on my channel. I'm going to have a direct link at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. Here's the basic look on what it looks like. As far as on the masteries, you got the liquid courage for 30% extra and double edge for 30% extra. There are debuffs that come from it that you also have to have recoil active as well. So there are some downfalls of it, which is what leads to a lot of people saying, is suicides worth it or not? There is a lot of units that could take in order to really activate. Of course, there's different overall setups, prerequisites, things like that. But total cost is usually going to, from beginning, cost you pretty much at a starting of over 4,000 units. So it's something you kind of got to build up to. There is also the debuff negatives, as we saw in those 30%, to include the bleed as well as the poison that come, and then of course the recoil. So as I get to the answer of my question, is it worth it for me? To me, it's like the easiest no-brainer decision ever from my perspective, but I want you to kind of get a little glimpse as to why it is a no-brainer for me. I'm showing a couple of fights side by side. Over there on the left, we got the no suicides with the 5-star R5 that I'm using. And then on the right, I have a 5-star R5 with suicides. So the one on my left, I'm using my mini, as I got Doom for both the 5-star R5 on both of my accounts, while the right is my main. I didn't want to spend a few hundred units to have to switch back and forth for this, so I decided the main reason I use the champs I use is because both of my accounts have these as R5 5-stars. So I wanted to use the same champ, both as R5 5-star on the same fights. To give an idea, I wanted to fight as similarly as I possibly could, which of course isn't always an exact science, so one might get a little ahead of the other. Just going to really depend on AI based on these fights to a point, but wanted to keep it as similar. And then at the end, I'm going to show the hit counts as well as the time it took. That way, in case I was a little more aggressive on one or the other based on a variety of circumstances, you can kind of judge on both. So this could be a long, repetitive game. So that's kind of what leads a lot to my decision. If we have a way to make things quicker, that means faster progression, means faster rewards. And as we are starting to already see in this first fight, as I do have two of them on side-by-side comparisons, we're seeing the one on the right, the one with suicides, is already knocked that juggernaut down to these huge health pools over 500,000 to the 35-ish%, while the one on the left with no suicides has barely got Juggernaut under half his health. So we're seeing a very quick difference here, and that is going to start to lead you to where my answer becomes. Because I like to save time, I like to make things quick, and with suicides the fight's already over, while the one without suicides, we're still at about 40%. 134 hits in 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Not perfect gameplay, not perfect anything, just to kind of prove a point and kind of show where my mindset is based on my decision on what I prefer to use. I only use suicides on my main account. I don't even have suicides unlocked on my mini, because my mini account is really a unit December gift feeder to my main, so I don't use units on my mini for really anything as much as humanly possible, so I'll never have suicides unlocked on my mini. But I also don't play my mini that much anymore, which has really got me leading to why I don't play my mini much anymore, which led me to think on this video. So why don't I play my mini anymore? Because frankly, I hate playing on my mini. It's not because I don't have good champs. I have amazing luck on my mini with champs, like insanely amazing luck. However, I don't like playing my mini because it's too slow paced. Why is it too slow paced? Well, we're seeing the answer to that. I've already finished the suicide fight quite a bit ago, but I'm still fighting on this no suicides. It is so slow paced that it bores me. I pretty much refuse to ever do arena on my mini account because it's too slow. It's just too slow without the suicides. I feel like I could have went down to the kitchen, made myself take my little frozen dinner out of the freezer or some leftovers, kind of heat them up in the microwave. In the time I've been waiting for this other fight to finish up, kind of have a little snack while waiting for no suicides. It is ridiculously slow pace. Are there some negatives associated with suicides? Absolutely. That is why there's an argument there to begin with. But am I showing you why I prefer my way? I think so. So we saw 202 hits. Made a little mistake in that. We reset the hit count. However, we see 4 minutes and 41 seconds as opposed to 234. 202 hits as opposed to 134 hits. So huge difference there. Here's the next fight, Dr. Voodoo. Another one I have is R5 5-star on both accounts. Okay? So I decided to use him. I also have Corvus as an R5 5-star on both accounts, but decided not to use him because downright that's just not fair. I didn't want to use a champ that just goes ridiculously above and beyond with suicides. And there's a couple that do your Omega Reds, your Corvuses. They just go so above and beyond with suicides. But some people say you have to use those great champs in order to have suicides worthwhile. And although it does greatly benefit, I agree. I wanted to use two champs that so it wasn't too one-sided on the viewpoint that don't greatly shine from suicides. They don't greatly benefit. In fact, they kind of get hindered a little bit with suicides, mainly on the recoil. But someone like Dr. Voodoo gets the regeneration at the beginning of the next fight anyway, so he can heal back a lot of that. Dr. Doom on the other side isn't someone I really enjoy using too much with suicides, but again, mainly wanted to use him as an example because I figured he would be a lot fairer than using a chorus with or without suicides, which would be just a straight onslaught. And I do have a comparison of with or without suicides of Corvus on the video at the end of this video, the link where I fully explained suicide, so you can see that we're a little more friendly. But I want to really show you here. So as we were seeing now and again on this fight, the one on the right with suicide starting to gain a pretty quick advantage over the one on the left at the beginning. It's kind of hard to see much of a difference. As you progress, you really start to see a difference. So for me, the question, with or without suicides, easiest answer ever, all day, every day, no doubt about it. Give me my suicide masteries, because I really don't like playing this game without suicide masteries. I find it slow. I find it boring. Most of us can agree this game is pretty repetitive already. So if I can do the same repetition in a fraction of the time, why in the world would I not? As I said, are there some negatives? Yes. And I'm not going to get into every single one thoroughly. Again, if you want more, the full, as unbiased perspective as humanly possible, explanation on everything to do with suicides, please be sure to click the link at the end of this video and you will see all that. But this is certainly my opinion why I believe suicides are the way to play. You can't get legend runs without it. We're really going through and seeing some massive difference now. We're seeing on the right, I'm at 13% left on that fight. The one on the left with no suicides, 57%. So we're seeing some massive difference here. So the question is, the more content you do, the more fights you do, the more you grind, the more everything, the quicker you grow. We got 175 hits there, 2 minutes and 49 seconds, 175 hits. We see I was a little bit quicker on the as far as hit count on the one on the right than the left, but that's why we're going to be tracking both of them, as the one on the left is getting close to that 175 hit count, but is barely got that Winter Soldier under half health right there. So seeing that big difference. So if I can accomplish more with less by making these fights in a fraction of the time as opposed to non-suicides, I'm getting more content done. I'm moving quicker. I'm progressing quicker is the way I look at it. So there is no doubt in my mind that I love using the suicides. It's worth the units needed. It is worth it to get through and do what I can. You can't get the legends without it. You can't grind is quicker without it. Good luck in any of the big arena milestones without it, or trying to compete in arena without suicides. There's so much you cannot do in this game without suicides on the competitive level. Not that I'm competitive, but I still like to get more bang for my buck. So we're seeing how much quicker just these couple fights take. Imagine long content. Imagine things like Abyss. Imagine things like LOL. Imagine Act 6, Act 7, all those. That minute or two or more than that per fight difference. Think of how much time that adds up. Do an arena. Think how much time you save. Imagine over the course of 100 fights in arena, how much time you're going to save. You are going to save hours, possibly, okay? If you're saving 30 seconds a minute, 2-3 minutes per fight, 100 or 2 fights, that is a big difference. So, easy choice here. Suicides, I can't stand this game without it. I'll never, ever switch off my suicides again on this account unless it's just absolutely mandatory based on some weird type of content. If there's no other way around it, which in some cases in Abyss was something had to do, it was worth it there on some of those Doctor Doom fights. However, it's something I hate doing. And I love having these suicides on. This game is not fun without it. That's why little by little my mini account is kind of disintegrating into obliteration of obscurity because I hate playing it. That's why I don't even play AQ or AW on it anymore. And a big reason I stay in casual alliances on my main is so I don't have to worry about suicides or getting yelled at for having suicides on a War Defenders. So it makes a big difference for me. We saw the difference here. 5 minutes to 24 seconds to 2 minutes 49 seconds, 296 hits to 175 hits. So we'll see the clear benefit right there. Those weren't even suicide-friendly champs. Hope you see why my opinion is what it is. Suicides all day, every day, right? Don't forget to click that top left icon if you want to know more about suicides. Be sure to click the link there. All right, thanks so much for watching MCOC AlBundyRules.